Okay, so what I want to do is go a little bit into chapter 13. I doubt any of you have gotten to it yet. Has anyone done the quiz for chapter 13? Okay, so influencer marketing is something that is really important in social media marketing right now, or digital marketing in general, because people are paid to be influencers in companies. And I know I was watching a show last night, I can't remember which, was some kind of show where there was a lady that said she was hired to be an influencer at this club to get people to come. And so that's how it is that a lot of places are hiring people that are good promoters, is what they are, you know. So let me see, get back into Stu Kent here, or get into it. Okay, this is Stu Kent right here, but come on. I didn't go in and grade all that stuff that you all are supposed to. Did everybody get caught up? No, you were working on it, Letitia, getting all caught up. I'll try to get all that done this weekend. I will be off campus next week. I will not be here for Wednesday night class. So I will be putting instructions out there, but actually I will probably, let you know tonight what all needs to be done. Why is it saying that? My login hasn't changed. Don't let me log in. Wow, come on. Oh gosh, I don't want to turn that on. Man, this is really weird. Hope they haven't changed my. I have to go get my laptop to even get logged in here. Let me go pause this a second. Come back on here in a second. Uh-oh. Sometimes I have to turn out the light up there. Hey, Ethan, will you turn that light off back there and let me see if that's going to come back on? Sometimes the fluorescent. There, never mind. Got it. Okay. All right. So inside. Uh-oh. What did it do? Oh, it's just not on yet, I think. Is that good? Yeah, it's fine. Well, it's not picking up the computer yet because I shut it off, I guess. Well, if you, there it is. Okay, so if you get back into Stu Kent, not in Mimic Social, but in Stu Kent, and look at chapter 13, we're going to go through a couple things here, and I'm going to ask a couple questions about influencer marketing. Who knows, who's ever been introduced to influencer marketing? Anybody in here? Anybody know what an influencer is? You ever been influenced to buy something in your life? Yes. No? Ethan said no. So
not really. Like influencers,
they don't affect you.
No, none of them really influence me.
Okay. Anybody have that problem? I know I have. They'll talk, and then right after I walk out of the place. Now my husband, he was really good at walking. Nobody ever influence things, especially with cars and stuff. So let me see what this talks about. So nobody influences you. Well, that's pretty good. That must mean you know how to say no. So an influencer by definition is someone who carries influence over others. Think about the influencers in your life. Maybe not even buying something, Ethan, but like your parents, your siblings, professors, or friends. Have friends ever influenced you? You know, sometimes we all have been influenced by something or someone. These influencers have the ability to persuade your purchase decisions or how you feel about a product or service. Influencers come in many shapes and sizes. For one thing, like if you're going to watch a movie or something, your friends have told you it was good. Maybe you really didn't want to see it, but you thought, well, everybody's going on, might as well go. So that would be somebody that was an influencer. Now I know that's my grandson, he's 14. Well, he's always trying to talk his parents into seeing all the movies they go see. Well, my daughter wouldn't even go see that new Joker movie. Well, my son and daughter-in-law, they don't have children yet. So they went to see it, and usually he calls him uncle, his uncle, which it is his uncle. But anyway, he can usually talk his mother into seeing it. The other day, he had thought he had gotten him, he takes piano lessons for my son, and he thought he could get him to, you know, agree. But he said, no, that one's a little rough for you. He said, and so he didn't like that at all. He said, well, Uncle, you always talk Mom into letting me do it. So, you know, what we do is, you know, there are people that influence us in things foods we like, restaurants we want to try. But maybe once you try it, and maybe nobody's going to tell you that it's good if you didn't think it was good. But below is a list of common influencer persona types. And you remember in Mimic Social, you can create personas. Well, have any of you used the influencer yet? David, you're ahead in the Mimic Social, aren't you? Have you used any of the personas for influencers? Yeah, and that's why we're gonna go in and listen to this guy's gonna teach us how to do it in Mimic Social, but I wanted to kind of give an overview of it first. And so this chapter is gonna talk about how to use those different personas as influencer marketers. And it's a type of marketing that focuses on using influencers to promote a brand message. Now, there's a lot of brands that use sports heroes, right? Or personalities to, especially Nike's big at that. There's a lot of them though now that I've seen Kyler Murray on a commercial. I saw, you know, Baker Mayfield, he's on a lot of them. I think he's done a lot of commercials. So they try to pick personalities that are well recognized by certain demographics to get their product recognized. So those are things that you're going to set up in Mimic Social to see how much it really helps. So like here's a picture of, in 1933, the Detroit-based automotive company Dodge created an ad for the new Salon 6 Brom featuring Babe Didrikson, a female American athlete and Olympian who achieved a great deal of success in golf and track and field. Didrikson promoting the Dodge vehicle was an early form of influencer marketing. Today, influencer marketing has evolved into the realm of social media. And so that's the part. Let's see, there we go. So here are some examples of social media influencers. A social media influencer is someone who exerts his or her influence through social media. In today's digital world, you do not need to be a celebrity or athlete to be an influencer. Like, you know, out on social media, people can do a YouTube, and all of a sudden, you know, if it's something that somebody really likes, then it goes viral, then they become an influencer. So you don't have to be a celebrity to be recognized as an influencer. Big and small brands are starting to allocate budgets toward influencer marketing, which is now a billion-dollar industry, and influencers are taking full advantage. So here was one on the that uses an influencer. We're going to watch this one real quick so we can get an idea.
When you see a tweet or Instagram post from one of your favorite celebrities showing off the good life with a cool outfit, a new beauty product, or a beautiful vacation spot, there's a chance the star has a good reason to tell you about it. Money. NBC's Jolene Kent shines our Sunday spotlight on influencers cashing in on their legions of social media followers.
Good girl. You might say Samantha Mignoni's Instagram stardom can be traced back to when her dog Aspen almost drowned.
I started going off in my kayak and she took off after me. So she started like huffing and puffing. I thought she was going to drown. So I went back to shore and kind of sucked her into my kayak.
It was this photo of Aspen happily snuggled in her kayak that changed everything.
So I remember my husband distinctly saying, wow, that's different.
The kayaking pic won a photo contest and earned Samantha new Instagram followers, some 28,000 now, who can't get enough of her golden retrievers. Followers who want to know not only how she gets Aspen into her kayak, but also what kind of kayak she's using.
A lot of people are interested in the gear that I'm using in my pictures.
Interest that caught the attention of advertisers who came bearing gifts. That kayak free from Oru, dog food free from Nulo, plus $500 in exchange for one post a month. And that watch from Garmin, also in exchange for a post a month.
So we were looking for an influencer who was a female and who was in the outdoor category, and someone who was also already using Garmin products.
Matt Bound is creative director at Garmin International. He oversees a team of 8 scouring for people just like Samantha, who marketers call influencers, social media users with large followings, whose interests range from fashion and fitness to photography, parenting, and of course, celebrities.
Before social media, we relied heavily on traditional mediums like print and broadcast. That forces you to talk at consumers and be the interrupter. And now with social media, you really have an opportunity to be part of that consumer dialogue.
Major corporations like Coca-Cola are cashing in too, luring megastars like Selena Gomez, who can make an estimated $550,000 per post.
Oh my gosh.
120 million plus followers.
It's very effective. It keeps that authentic vibe that people like to get when they're on social media.
Some 40% of people say they purchased an item after seeing an influencer use it on social media, contributing to a $1 billion market this year alone, $5 billion by 2020, according to one forecast. It's money that's funneling down to people like Natalie Ann Rossi, aka Miss Hatton, who quit her finance job at JP Morgan to do the influencer thing full time.
Just like a risk that I needed to take.
Natalie is now closing in on 500,000 followers who love her aerial photographs, regardless of whether or not those Kenneth Cole shoes she's wearing were part of an advertising deal. Deals, she says, can range from $6,000 to $50,000.
Wow.
I gotta ask, everyone wants to know, how much can you really make on an annual basis doing this? So I'm in the 6-figure range and yeah, comfortable.
But all these sponsored posts have raised some red flags. Selena Gomez is the most followed person on Instagram. How much exactly is she advertising to us?
I think quite a bit, and more than many people may know.
Bonnie Patton is the executive director at Truth in Advertising.
So it's the Wild West right now. The vast majority of social media influencers are not disclosing that these are ads.
Including Selena's Coca-Cola post. It only included the word ad after a complaint saying the post violated FTC rules, which require such disclosures.
With so many people being influencers out there, can the FTC even enforce the rules?
To date, the FTC has only brought 4 actions against companies that have violated these social media influencer rules. And that's 4 out of thousands that are occurring each and every day,
leaving consumers to decide for themselves whether or not they're under the influence. For Sunday Today, Jolene Kent, New York.
Yeah, see, a lot of times you don't even know.
Joe, thanks. Both Coca-Cola and Selena Gomez declined comment for our story. To learn more about what it takes to be a social media influencer, check out our website, at today.com/Sunday.
Hello, Today fans. Thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking that button down there and click on.
So, did you realize that people were making that kind of money off of their posts that you look at?
Yes.
You did? Who said that, David?
Yeah.
So you were aware.
Yeah.
Do you have some like that? Are you trying to get into that?
No.
No, no. How did you know?
I didn't make a lot of money
Doing
doing
it. And see, there's another thing that we haven't talked about. I can't remember what chapter it is called. And I think the YouTube expert session that I had you watch is on affiliate marketing. So that's what that's called, where she's marketing a kayak and all those, the Garmin watch and all those things, because she gets, if she agrees to, and people buy things because of her post, then she gets money for every item that's sold from her post. So there's a lot of, marketing is just so different. People that, had no training or anything. So brands make $6.50 for every dollar spent on influencer marketing. That's what's happening. That's why it's such a big thing. 54% of female consumers purchased a product after seeing it recommended by an influencer, and 45% have followed a brand directly from the influencer's post. So that is how much, especially, young people and women that look at things and want that type of look, or they'll believe those things. So here below is a breakdown of the types of influencers by reach as defined by Media Kicks. So there's nano influencers, which have 1 to 1,000 followers. Micro influencers have 10,000 to 50,000 followers. Mid-tier have 50,000 to 500,000 followers. Macro influencers, 500 to 1 million. Mega, 1 million plus followers. And so those, they've already labeled them all according to your followers. So credibility is the level of trust given by followers based on the perceived knowledge. The authenticity is very important. Peyton Manning plugging Budweiser in his post-game speech sounded so disingenuous. Is there anything he won't do for money? So there was somebody that said that about Peyton Manning. Scott Disick, an American television personality best known for being the boyfriend of Kourtney Kardashian, made a mistake that went viral when he posted a photo of himself with a bustier shake on his Instagram page. He included not only the caption the company told him to paste, but also the instructions. The post caused backlash with his followers, as none of them believed that he was being authentic or had ever even used the product. So there's a lot of really interesting things here. I'm not going to play all of these because you guys can do that yourself. I hope you will, because it helps you a lot to understand what's really going on. When Las Vegas wanted to celebrate the launch of its official Snapchat channel, Khalid, y'all may know who that is, I don't know who it is, was presented with a key to the strip and hired for an account takeover that brought in more than 350,000 views in its first 2 days alone. Khaled took followers on a journey through Las Vegas through gondola rides, massages, a tour of his luxurious suite, and to the Welcome to Las Vegas sign. So there's a video showing all of that, how that works. Okay, so this is a list of the benefits that you'll need to go through and see: increased exposure, brand awareness, improved search ranking, more credibility, effectively reach a target market, new leads, conversions. So here is the strategy, and see, that's one of the things that you'll be doing, is doing a marketing strategy for Buoy, and that's one of your assignments after chapter 12. We're going to do 13 and 12, and you'll see the assignment out there. And so these are the steps that you would go through in setting up your marketing strategy. And I'm only going to have y'all do it for Bowie. I'm not going to have you do it for something else. But Instagram and YouTube are among the most popular channels used for influencer marketing. So then there's step 3. It tells you how to read the analytics. You need to read all this, and then if you have questions, we'll go over it the next time we meet, or you can email me if you have questions. So this is another one, influencer marketing tools. There are many tools that companies can use to identify influencers with engaged networks within a defined target market. Tools like Analytica, Follower Work, BuzzSumo, this is a real one that's used a lot. And Hootsuite can help companies discover and map the influencers that are more influential. So you listen to what influencers are saying, interact with and develop relationship with influencer targets, and provide detailed reporting and ROI, return on investment. So watch how Analytica helps a beer brand use influencers to promote a non-GMO product, delivering information directly to the people who care. Okay, so this one is a pretty good one to watch. I'm going to watch this one because I know some of them you won't. It's only 2 minutes anyway.
I think building a brand nowadays is all about authenticity, and authenticity involves allowing your consumers to shape your brand alongside you. That's what happens on social media, and that's how you build those experiences through people who want to partake with that brand in the change of their lifestyle, in the way it affects their families, and in the way that they can choose for those products to fit their lifestyle as it changes.
The key to influence marketing is winning the hearts and minds of influencers. If you achieve that, they can cascade your messages very, very organically and authentically to their particular communities. And so influencer marketing represents a real opportunity to communicate focused messages to individual influence groups.
So let me give you an example. Now, let's say a beer brand takes a big step and actually negotiates all these deals that they're only going to use GMO-free ingredients in their beers. Now, you'll want to share that story because it's a great story and it's great for that beer and that brand. Either you're going to reach the people that already love your beer, or you're going to reach a whole bunch of people that don't care, that might not know what GMO is, and so you're not really activating more market through that. It's very costly. So if you were to, for example, work with an influencer who's got a massive organic food or GMO-free community behind them, and tell them that story and get them to hang out, for example, with your suppliers, you get a big story and you get it delivered to the people that might not otherwise buy your beer if they didn't know that you've made this change. So you get that experience and you deliver the information to the people that really should hear it. If you look at the way that people consume information, brands need to actually get on board and change their practices to most effectively reach people again. Tools like Analytica provide them with the agility and with the means to actually get on board with those processes faster and enable them to communicate more effectively through those new channels.
There are 5 ways in which Analytica's technology can help. Identify your influence community, match your target influencers, listen to what your influencers really care about, engage your influencers in a contextual way, and then measure whether your influencers are helping you achieve your goals.
Analytica, scale your influence now.
So that's a company that helps people learn how to do that for their business. There's a couple of others that it really said were really good stories due to its social media strategy today. Contiki is a well-recognized brand among its target market of 18 to 35-year-olds with millions of followers across its social media channels. Influencer marketing is one of the most popular social media trends today, but companies must ensure that their influencer marketing efforts align to their overall marketing strategies and that results are tracked to ensure that the influencer marketing is profitable. So if they spend a lot of money on hiring an influencer, on paying an influencer, they need to know, so they have to be able to measure whether it's really been profitable for them to do that. So those are the things that was covered here. And here's the the glossary and your quiz right here. There's also an expert session that I have you do here. But okay, so now the thing that is important is in Mimic Social. Let me go to this link. There's a section now on influencer marketing, and we haven't used it up to this point, and it's in round, I think it started in round 7 maybe, and you were able to use it. But oh goodness, where did this go? Let's see. I thought it was right there in my other one. Now I've got to find it. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, starts round 7. So this is a webinar that is from Stu Kent, and they actually show you how to use that influencer marketing. And so that's going to be part of your grade in that Mimic Social, to learn how to do that. So it's important. And you don't, I'll upload this maybe. No, I can't do that, I think. Always does that on the or enter the caption. Yes, that's it. Okay.
Hey everybody, it's good to be with you today. My name is Kelton Bruff. I am the product marketing manager over the social media products here at Stu Kent. We're really excited to hop in and show you some of the new updates that we've done to Mimic Social, and specifically our update with influencer marketing. We got a lot of you guys on today. It looks like we have a good showing. So the way that the agenda is going to kind of roll is I'm going to introduce Brady Adams, who is the Vice President of Product here at Stu Kent. And he's just going to go through the rounds, just kind of show you the mechanics of it all. And then he's going to give you a behind-the-scenes look at the back end of the simulation. He's going to show you some tips and tricks that you can take to your students, that you can help them improve their results in the simulation. And then we have a very special guest that will be on with us afterwards. We'll have Mr. Colin Key. He is actually the developer who created this portion of Mimic Social. He wrote out the code and he knows all the back end. So he'll be a good person for you guys to ask some questions to. So if you look on your screen, it'll be either your left or your right. You'll see this chat bar on the side. Feel free at any point to just chime in with any questions that you have. And then we're going to gather those. And at the end of the webinar, we will answer any questions that you have. I promised in my email that we would keep this short. So without further ado, I will let Brady take it away.
So if you want to get into your Mimic Social so you can try some of this, if you don't, if you learn better by watching, that's fine. And this is, they did it for instructors, but I thought it was good for you all too.
We are so excited about the influencer update for Mimic Social and can't wait to show you what we have in store for you. So like Kelton mentioned, we don't have a ton of time, and so let's jump right into the simulation. So as you can see, this looks very similar to the previous rounds, and the only change that I want to point out here is at the start of round 7, where we introduce influencer marketing. The students are going to get this really great resource, a video and some background that will really help them jump into the influencer rounds and have a better understanding of what influencer marketing is. And as the person responsible at Buoy Bags for the social media campaigns, the opportunity to jump in and negotiate and work with influencers to continue to generate revenue for Buoy. So the students are going to see a very similar landing page, just like they're used to in the other rounds of the simulation. The difference that they will see right out of the gate is the influencers section here along the left-hand side in the navigation bar. And just like in other rounds, there will be a weekly memos button. And again, this red mark highlights that we've got some information that we haven't seen before. So as you can see here, we've got some additional information for them. We even have a comprehensive influencer marketing guide that is a great resource. But for today, let's jump right into the influencer section. So again, as they jump over to influencers, this is going to come back up to provide them some great information and insights. And anytime they want to get back to it, they can click the instructions button here. And that instructions button is located throughout the simulation.
So did everyone see that? Here so when you click on influencers, it comes up with that video instruction. And anytime, so it doesn't come up with this influencers option here until you get to round 7. You won't see it. So when you're in round 7, you'll have this pop up that you can get all the instructions. Did you not see these instructions, David, when you got to it?
I just saw it.
Didn't do it? Oh, how far are you? Because you need to do the influencer portion of it. This is for, so it should be the rest of the way through, starting with round 7. And so there's the instructions, and it'll click up there. And so, but he kind of gives you an overview. So that's why I'm doing this in class, rather, because a lot of you won't take time to read the instructions. You just try to do it. So let's be sure that you're watching this.
Simulation, as many of the students have already come to use that button a lot. And we want you as the instructor to know that that's a great resource for the students. So let's jump right into scheduling an influencer. We have created several different influencer types, as well as several different influencer profiles. We have.
So remember, we just got the definition of those. What's a mega influencer, a macro influencer, a micro? They don't have the nano up there, which is the smallest, right? So
try to mirror the real world as much as possible and create influencers who are most like people out in the real world, like Chris Ronald, world famous soccer player. I'm sure many of you can make the comparison to Ronaldo, the world famous soccer star in real life. And the metrics that we've used as far as number of followers and the impact that they have as an influencer is also present here in the simulation. So let's, for this, the purpose of this demo, we're going to use the jokers. And you can see again, platform specialties and some of their other metrics, interests, and who the demographics are. So let's select the influencer. You can see here now we have selected the influencer, and they're giving us the check marks along the box to show our progress for the round. Here is the approximate cost range of working with this influencer. This gives the students a guide, but it is not the end-all be-all, as you will see as we try to navigate making an offer. So let's use a social media takeover. And from here, again, you can see the description. So the students, this is what they can use to resource.
So if you're not familiar with influencers at all, they're trying to hire one. And so they're going to give them a offer and see if they want to take it. And what they're telling them, this is what they want them to do, a whole social media takeover. So they have an option of doing affiliate marketing, giveaways, branded content, brand ambassador, or gifts. But they want to give them an offer for doing a full social media takeover.
To research the different strategies and what they might use and what might be a good fit for Boogie. So let's actually make them an offer. Let's go $100 less than the suggested offer. Let's ask them to do 3 posts and make an offer. This is where the dynamic negotiation will come into play. And you can see right out of the gate, they are willing to produce the content for us, but that's not enough money. So let's make them another offer. So let's come here. We can do, let's go right at this. Oh, that's a little bit too much. We don't want to overpay. And from there, let's go with that same 3 posts and make a second offer. Awesome. So they've accepted our offer, and we can get to work right away with this influencer. So this gives us a little bit of a snapshot. Again, we're ready to finalize the budget. So let's schedule the influencer. So as we go through the simulation, this round, round 7, and again in round 9, the scheduled influencers will show up here. And obviously we still have a lot of budget remaining, but for the interest of time, we're going to jump in. We're going to actually run this simulation. We can see some of the analytics from this round. So let's run the simulation just like in previous rounds. It's going to open up with round 8 being an analysis round. We can close out there. The students will have lots of questions they need to jump into, but let's jump right into analytics. So again, along the top, you can see here that we can select influencer analytics right out of the gate. We can jump in and we can see some of our impact from our social media takeover, the number of posts we have, and again, the metrics along the bottom can really help the students learn the impact they had through influencer marketing, the revenue that it generated. We can come and we can look at the Instagram metrics as well and learn as much as we can from the exercise. Just like in the real world, analysis is critical in looking at ways that we can improve as social media marketers. And so the students are going to have that opportunity again in round 9, and then there'll be an analysis round in round 10, and then round 11 and 12, our students are actually going to have the opportunity to select whether they want to have posts or schedule influencers, so they can make the decision based on previous rounds and revenue they were able to generate versus the influencers, and hopefully again learn and create a campaign that utilizes both and generates the most amount of revenue for Booty. Let's jump into a second resource that we want to share with you guys today, and that is here in the Instructor Insights. So the Instructor Insights is a resource that we have created for you to help you as the instructor understand some of the back end as far as
that part
and influencer types, so that you can best help the students or students that are struggling, or as the class as a whole, to understand maybe what's going on in the simulation on the back end as the students run the simulation and schedule their influencers.
Let's see how long.
So we want to set you up for success so you can best help the students and keep them engaged throughout the simulation. There are better strategies and better influencers, just like in the real world. We want students to have to do a little bit of research, understand maybe what's the best fit that is on brand with Booty, and then reach out to those influencers and schedule the right influencer and the right strategy to maximize revenue for Booty. So providing you a little bit more insight into the different influencer types, and just a quick plug for our textbook. The language in the textbook in the Essentials of Social Media Marketing textbook matches what is reflected in the simulation. So mega, macro, micro, that language is used in our textbook. A little bit more of a breakdown with who is, which type of influencer, which profile is in which category. So we do have some on the back end with scoring and grading. Obviously there's some profiles, some influencer profiles that are of the better man.
Okay, so that gives y'all a good start, because now you know how you want to start doing it. And by the next time, now Wednesday, even though I won't be here in class, if you have any questions after you've started that, you can email me. I'm going to go through some more of this, and I'll try to create another type of instructional thing, but I wanted to give you enough that you can get started on it. Okay, now okay, there it is. So, so what you need to do, let me go into Canvas too and see where, so I can show you. Let's see, I don't know what's happening here. Let me log in. None of my login is working for some reason. not filling my password. See, I think this is it. Okay, so what we're doing this week then is completing chapters 13, your expert session, but I want you to spend a good amount of time on Mimic Social. David, which round are you in? Okay, so you're right there. So that should have helped you, right? Did you see what was going on there? Okay, so that should help you get going on that. So we're on this module called Mimic Social Influencer. You should be able to see this now. Are y'all able to see this section in Canvas? Okay. Marketing with social media apps. You had to. Yeah, because I just now published it.
I see quiz, chapter 13.
Yes.
Quiz, and then it says Mimic Social Marketing.
Yeah, okay. Now this part, you notice that it's not due till the end of the semester, but you have to start on it in this semester, in this round, when you get to round 7. This assignment is in chapter 12. So after you read chapter 12, you will understand what you're supposed to do as far as a social media marketing campaign. But that's what this tells you. Create a social media marketing campaign for a buoy supply company in Mimic Social and run the campaign from now until the end of the semester. The assignment will be a completed document outlining all of the steps before, during, and after the campaign. You'll execute the social media marketing campaign with your weekly post. This is short for this class, only 2 weeks. Oh, that's because when first time I signed it, we actually have more than 2 weeks. This was in an 8-week class, and so they didn't have as long. Well, y'all have almost 7 weeks, I guess. Well, Mimic Social, I think we get done with maybe the week before the end of the semester. But this actual report, you won't write up till after the end of your campaign. And so this won't make sense to you until you read chapter 12, okay? So we can actually go over some of chapter 12 because it's only... So in 13, the reason I did 13 first is because that's round 7, which you need to go ahead and start in, and helps you understand influencer marketing. But that's why they were telling you, if you go through what we went through in the chapter, that helps also. Okay, so in chapter 12, that's what the title of it is social media marketing campaigns. And so after reading this chapter, you should be able to understand a campaign concept. And see, when you are running the social media for a company or even your business, these are things that you come up with, strategies or campaigns, like places will come up with a giveaway. And if you do, if you respond to the post or take the action in the post, then they may give you bonus points, or they may give you reward points or something. Those are campaigns. So here, what you're going to do with that buoy company is come up with a campaign that you think would help promote the products there. So integrated marketing communication, which the acronym is IMC, involves integrating the promotional tools in the marketing mix around a single themed idea or campaign. So IMC results in a synergistic effect, ensuring that all promotional elements are carefully linked together. So these linked elements include advertising, personal selling, public relations, SEO, television, radio, email. And see, people for years in their advertising, like when I worked over at Hudeberg as a consultant for them in social media marketing, they paid out like $50,000 a month just for advertising with a television network. Okay, well now they're realizing that really isn't worth what they've been paying for it, because how many of you still watch cable TV? Anybody have cable TV channels anymore? No, most of you probably watch. Do you still have cable? No. So it's either like YouTube or Netflix streaming, or Hulu, right? Hulu. There's a lot of them. So we don't do that anymore. And yet big corporations were still paying out and still are, because a lot of the GMs, the general managers, are still old traditional, and they're so afraid if they let go of that they're going to lose so much business. And so they have to see this be proved. And so they hired some people over there, but they weren't really good at what they did. And our new marketing director, he's been here 2 years, Daniel Beck, he worked for Big Wing Interactive, which that's all they did, is they went into businesses and created their social media strategy, marketing strategy. And there's several, it's quite a few companies in Oklahoma City that do that. They go in and they pitch themselves to a corporation as social media marketing strategy people, and some of them create influencers for them. And so those are things that are going on. If you go out to Indeed and look for jobs, you're going to see, even in the state of Oklahoma, they range in what they pay social media marketers. It kind of depends on what you can show that you've been successful doing as far as creating followings for certain businesses and how it helps. So it's linking all these different things together and causing all of them to have the same push, the same promotion at the same time, the same strategy at the same time, integrating it all together. Today, many brands do not succeed with IMC because they are applying tactics that don't correlate with where their target audience members spend the majority of their time and what their audience wants. So that's what I was talking about. They're still trying to hit the cable TV market. Well, they are going to get a certain demographic, but it's probably maybe people in their 50s and to 60s, and that people that don't understand social media. So if the product that they're trying to get out there is not for that age group, then they don't need to be spending money in that area, right? So that's things that it talks about here, why it fails. Social media only campaigns are on the rise and are proving to be very effective. In fact, a majority of today's audiences expect and respond to social media only campaigns and ignore the rest. Nearly 59% of people follow a brand on social media profiles for deals and promotions, while just over 42% follow for incentives. And those statistics came from Sprout Social. And so these are things that you probably don't realize that come up that are influencing you, things that come up on your social media. YouTube is social media. Hulu has ads now. YouTube has tons of ads, right? You have to do skip ad to get through things. So, these are things that are happening that are cheaper for advertising, but now people are finding ways for it to be cost them to advertise that way. And then, like they were saying, the FTC, there's certain guidelines and rules, but like it came up in that video we were watching, how many of them really get in trouble? Very few. She said 4 have been prosecuted, and that's it. So they're saying they're not supposed to advertise a brand. That's really against the rules of social media. But how many do that? How many of you see posts where there's brands by people that you recognize? So the AIDA model in social media campaigns, and what that stands for is attention, interest, desire, and action. It's the funnel that drives people. And how many of you have taken marketing? David, are you marketing major or are you graphic design? David, are you marketing degree, or are you graphic design? Graphic design. Anybody in here was marketing? I can't remember. No? Okay, so whenever you take principles of marketing, which this class I don't require it, but it's called the sales funnel, and it used to be totally different because it was not based upon the consumer. And now here's what the funnel looks like to get somebody to actually purchase something. You have to grab their attention first, build their interest in it, create a desire for whatever your service or product is, and then persuade them to take the action. So that's called the sales funnel, is what that used to be called. So this model should be adapted for every social media campaign. So when you start looking at Buoy and you're going to create a campaign, then you need to think about which kind of post, what's going to grab their attention, build their interest, create the desire to purchase that product, and what's going to, persuade them to go ahead. So those are things that are part of that particular model. So launching a social media marketing campaign. Now this is the section that gives you the steps to do it. Before, you want to establish your goals. So first you have to really understand Buoy and that company. And before launching the marketing campaign, establish what you want the campaign to accomplish, because you can't measure whether it did that unless you have a goal in the beginning. And so at the end of the semester, when you write up your report, you're going to write down what your goals were, and then you're going to tell what campaign and idea you used. And so the campaign should be built around specific business goals, such as increasing brand awareness, leads or sales, increasing web traffic, or generating email subscribers. The AIDA model described earlier is a useful way of organizing the goals of the campaign. So is your goal just to get them interested? Is your goal for them to actually purchase? What is your goal for the campaign? And they're going to give you some sample campaigns too, so you see what it's talking about. Choose a campaign idea, theme, and type. So every campaign must start with a big idea that strongly resonates with the target audience. Without a strong campaign idea, the campaign will not be memorable or effective. It's important for the campaign idea to be enticing enough to persuade individuals to take action. The most successful campaigns are simple, customer-centric, emotionally engaging, and encourage social media users to interact directly. So here's some different ways, different things that you can do as a campaign. The image below includes a list of common campaign types. So these are just different things that you should be aware that have happened, that you've been involved in. Maybe you didn't participate, but you've seen them offered by different people. Maybe a photo contest, video contest, an essay contest, sweepstakes. Sign up. If you sign up for an email or you sign up for their newsletter. There's social feed, Twitter feed, Instagram gallery, Instagram contest, Twitter contest, Vine contest, commenting sweepstakes. So that would be whoever comments the most. I've seen ones like that. Caption contest, a quiz. Have you ever done a quiz out on social media? Anybody done that? I know you have in games. You've done them. A poll. You've probably taken a poll before. Voting gallery. Pinterest gallery. So there's a lot of different ones you can pick. The type of campaign that is selected should be tied to the overall goals of the campaign. For example, if the campaign goal is to increase the number of email subscribers, then a sweepstakes or sign-up campaign would be a good fit. Below is a list of common campaign types and the social media marketing goals that they support. So that's a chart that you'll want to look at through Hootsuite. Identify your target audience. So determine the target audience for the campaign. So even though you've had different target audiences in different rounds, okay, this is for just that campaign. Are you going to target just a specific age demographic? If it's females or males, or what you're going to do in that area. So you want to determine a campaign budget and resources. Determine the total budget and the resources needed to run the campaign. remembering to allocate funds needed for social media ads promoting the campaign. Then you would outline the parameters, and it shows you an example here of one, Pin to Win, Healthy and Safe Nursery Pinterest contest, how to enter. And so that's a campaign, and it's their goals. They should tell you what the goals are, how to enter. They're trying to get more of a following for that one thing. Official giveaway rules and regulations. So this is a campaign that was started. Choose incentives. Incentives should be provided to encourage campaign participation. So think of one out on social media that worked for you, that got you to be involved in it. And that's what you could use. Have any of you done that? Well, you guys are quiet tonight. I guess all the talkers are gone. I don't know. I know we don't have, last time it seemed like there wasn't near as many in here. That's why I always teach it all online. Then I don't have to worry about them coming to class. Okay, so determine where the campaign will live. Depending on the campaign type, the campaign could live within the social media network itself, on a company website, on a microsite, on an app. But in ours, it's going to be part of the social media network, because we don't have a web page for Buoy. Select which networks you want it on. Choose the timeline that you're going to run it, because you don't want it to just go forever. You can't measure whether it was effective or not. Okay. So if you want to target like things that you know would draw you in, that'd be the thing. Develop the campaign assets and content calendar. So that's something that's going to go on your content calendar that you turn in at the end. Is what of those posts that you create out of Buoy. You don't have to create any of the graphics or anything. You just have to pull posts together, and it has some examples out there of campaign posts and stuff for different things. Oops. Sorry. That's all right. Okay, so here's how a step of during it. You want to promote the campaign, monitor and engage, adjust. After, you would announce the winner or share the results, and that's part of your written report that will be at the end of the campaign. And so you'll make a post that shows who won it. Follow up with all the entrants, report and analyze. How did the overall campaign perform? Did it achieve the objectives? So these are the things that you'll answer in your written report about your campaign. Okay. All right, so go ahead and finish. You'll want to finish this chapter, and here's some. Okay, now here's one I wanted to go over, because this is one that actually did work. AirAsia in 2012, that's a long time ago, a small airline company, AirAsia, started flights from Australia to Malaysia. The company looked to double the number of flights on its route within 2 years, but lacked a large marketing budget compared to that of competitors. So the company needed brand awareness fast, so it decided to launch a unique social media contest where the winner would get to fly in an AirAsia Airbus with 302 of his or her friends. The result? Watch the video below and see for yourself. The campaign reached over 2 million people on Facebook, generating press worth $1.5 million. AirAsia was able to double the amount of flights and increase their Facebook followers by 30%. So they met their goals. So what they have to do. So what they did, I guess they only had to subscribe to, had anybody ever heard of that? That Facebook contest? There's one, Sparkling Eyes. You can look at these because they give you an idea. Oreo was a pretty good one. That one's pretty neat. Disney. So you can look at these to get an idea of the social media marketing campaign, different ones that were done. There's a Bill Gates one. That was that bucket thing. Everybody remember that ice bucket where you had to pour an ice bucket over people? So that was, the campaign went viral with many social media influencers and celebrities supporting the cause by accepting the challenge. Watch the below video. So that was, there's a lot of things like that that people do, you know, and it goes viral, and it that is one that earned money. What was that other deal happened recently this summer about a guy that got hit or something, and what was it? Oh gosh, I just heard it recently. Can't remember what it was. And it ended up being a fundraiser. He was trying to raise money for just one small thing, and it ended up a ton of money for something that was a good cause. So okay, so 12 and 13, and start thinking about the social media marketing campaign, but also you should be on round 7 and 8 this week, doing 7 and 8, which would be your first round with influencer marketing. So if you're not up to there, be sure you get caught up to there. And any questions? This is a sleepy time, I guess. I don't know. All right, so I won't see you next Wednesday night, but remember, I always look at emails and everything. So if I start grading everything and I see people, now you guys that show up are probably doing your work. It's the guys that aren't showing up that I'm going to be sending out early alerts on, because they don't realize that, you know, we're into the 9th week right now. So and this is the first time I've taught it in a 16-week class. I may not do that anymore because I think we lose. It's some people like faster and some like slower. So anyway, all right. So you guys have a great weekend. Great fall break. As short as it is. Did you have classes on Thursday, Kayla? No, I didn't either.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.